Welcome back to the World Predator Classic 2017, and it's event day. The guys are lining up in the boats and both the kayaks, and it's time to rock and roll. It's a hive of activity as everything is put together and prepared, because once the guys are out on the water, they certainly will not want to come back in again. All systems go. Let's see what's happening with the kayak anglers. The kayak event has attracted anglers from across Europe and as far away as Morocco. The event follows exactly the same rules and duration as the main boat event and is fished over 3 days. Well, as the sun rises over the herring fleet for the start of day one of the kayak event, the guys are lining up on the start line, and it's going to be a sprint start as tournament organiser Ross Honey calls for proceedings to begin.
Get ready.
And they're off, and it's a bit of a sprint start there as a lot of the guys head in the same direction towards the eastern end of the herring fleet. They come around the corner of the stone wall there that marks the beach at the entrance to the port. They'll nip around the lighthouse, and there's a spot just round the corner into the breeze where there are normally 1 or 2 zander. Interesting seeing the pack split there as well. We have half a dozen turning right, going to the western end with the wind, but the big money at the moment seems to be east. We'll catch up with the kayak guys and find out how they've done a little later on. Back at the harbour, the powerboat anglers were all ready to start, but before they left port, we caught up with the defending champion to find out how his year had been.
Yeah, it has been good. We have in Finland, we have good visibility for World Predator Classic, so it's quite nice.
And you have a new partner this year as well. Antti couldn't make it. So, Kimmo, tell me, into the hot seat.
Yeah. You know, there are some pressures, but you know, we are doing our best.
The event is brilliant. You know, like every year I want to come here and compete, and yeah, brilliant. Yeah.
What's going to be your target first? Straight on the zander or pike?
Yeah, definitely. First on the zander, you know, because the conditions, and then try to find the pike, because perch are like very hard to find. So, you know, if we have time, we will try for perch as well. But zander and pike, our target today.
Ollie, how are we this morning?
Not too bad. Just the final preps, getting everything ready. Yeah, quite excited now. It's going to be a good comp, I think.
Bit of a breeze today as well, making things a bit better.
Yeah, I think it's going to improve the situation a little bit this morning. It's going to get really hot. Forecast of about 32 degrees today. That's been the warmest we've had so far, even in practice. So it's going to be interesting this afternoon, I think.
Right, everybody's in line. We're getting ready to go. We're getting ready to hit the horn. We're about to start the World Predator Classic 2017 now. Let's go.
And there we go, they are off, and it's like the start of a Formula One race as the boats speed off in all sorts of different directions across the herring fleet. We're going to try and keep with some of these boats just to give you an impression of the sort of speed that they can do. Oh yes, and clearly there is a pack of fish around here. This is absolutely fantastic. The guys are on their own in this area. Nobody is anywhere near them, and they've found fish. Looks like another zander.
Yes, another not too big one as far as I can see, but it's a fish. And this also, if you're a tournament fisherman, this gives you a lot of motivation, even though the fish is small.
Maybe that it's too small, he might be releasing it. Yeah, he's released it without landing it, so it's too small, it's undersized.
Yeah,
but that's not a serious problem, because it means there are fish in the area now.
Yeah, you see how quickly everything goes. They already saw when they reeled it in that it's too small. They released it really quickly and then back on the next cast, and this is tournament fishing.
As soon as he saw that his teammate had got a slightly undersized fish, he's straight onto his rod, casting it back out again, because where there's one, there are normally more. So the defending champion Marco Tuisinen and his new partner Kimmo Mantari appear to have found themselves somewhere to fish. They've caught one perch already and they're on very light tactics here, sitting in about 8 meters of water, and they're targeting perch.
Yes, and it seems they are using a drop shot rig, and this normally stands, if you see this, for really tough conditions. Because if the fish is biting really aggressively, you wouldn't need to use a drop shot rig. It's a really slow tactic they use, and they are not fishing it really fast and about 6-7 meters deep, I think.
So we're approaching Darius Ostendab and Bjorn Gesterman, and we see that they've just got their measure out. We're a fair way away from them at the moment, but hopefully we'll be able to catch them up and see what they have caught. They're fishing in the shallower water. They're going through the process there of measurement, and what happens is as soon as a team catches a fish, what they have to do is put it onto the measuring board, take a photograph of it, and then once that has been photographed, it will be sent into the main control area and recorded on the score sheets straight away. So we're now at the easterly end of the herring fleet, not too far away from the bridge that connects to Holland's Deep, and in front of us is boat number 37. This is the German pairing of Daniel Russell and Gregor Babiotz, and they're in the lead at the moment, Christian. They've got a full house of zander and a couple of perch.
Yep, they got, at the moment they have three zanders. 2 of them are over 70 centimeters and one is 78, which is quite a good size. And they have one really big perch with 49 centimeters. And we just found them here on the east side of the big island Tingemeten, and they are fishing shallow at the moment, and they have a drift anchor to slow the drifting speed down. And we can see one of them fishing with a big lure, which can only or mainly catch a pike.
Absolutely. Well, they don't need another zander now. They've got 3 already. Obviously, if they can get 3 really big ones, that helps if it ever comes back to account back on size. But it's a pike that will really make a big difference to them. Here we see one of the Lorentz boats of Ulf Sturmer and Robin Gromper. They've just landed what appears to be a small zander. We see the measuring board there just being put into operation. They've got to see if that fish is big enough. It looks like it might just be. It wasn't a massive fish, but they'll be checking it. Fishing in the shallows. And they're part of the Lorentz team. There's 2 Lorentz boats out here today.
Put it back.
Ah yes, the fish has gone back. It's not big enough. But there's 2 Lorentz boats in here today, and they're both in the same place. Now bear in mind how much water there is. I spoke to Ollie Taylor earlier, and he said that the boats were going to pair up through the course of the day and basically leapfrog each other down the bank to see if they could work as much water as possible and work in tandem as a team. We know that Ollie has already caught a couple of fish, fishing with Christian Wienicke from Germany. They're on the leaderboard, and there's still a fair amount of time yet, so if there's one small zander around, there's a good chance there may be others. So we're looking over at Pierre Jonen and Daniela Shaffer. They have caught quite a few fish and they're looking pretty good. They had a good start to last year's event actually. They quite like this spot. We're not going to give it away because we respect where the competitors are and their secret little places, but they're spending some time here looking for something very specific. And this is a sport that's practiced in England quite a bit, actually on a lake called Grafham Rutland, where they're searching for the zander. Pelagic fishing, for those that don't know that are watching this, means when you're fishing in the mid-table, the mid-column of the water, the fish aren't on the bottom and the fish aren't up towards the surface. They are somewhere in the middle, and they've seen something there. What they do is they look for individual shapes, and these fish finders that they have now are amazingly accurate, very good attention to detail. They will say how far down the fish is, and as soon as they find one, like Christian says, they will turn off the main petrol engine, put on the trolling motor, drop their rigs down to the depth that the fish have been seen on the sounder, and they will try and catch an individual fish. Second place, Christophe Hubarts and Philippe Neuville, and they are fishing very shallow, quite close into these rocks here. I suspect perch may well be the target. They've got a drogue out just on a slow drift down maybe 10 meters off that rocky bank. Perch?
For sure, yes. You can be lucky and catch one zander or so, and sometimes also pike, but the I'm sure they are targeting perch at the moment. The one guy you see in the back is fishing over the distance of the boat, just in where the transom is. So there will be a drop off, and he's fishing deeper right under the boat, while the other one is casting into the front, really close to the stones. And this is where sometimes the perch is waiting for some, crabs and stuff to come out of the stones. So this is where they like to be.
Plenty of fish for many of the teams, but no one managed to fill their quota with all species. It was boat 32, Daniela Shaffer and Pierre Jonen who came closest with a meterage of 331, made up of pike, zander and perch. That result put them into first place, with the French team of Christophe Huets and Philippe Nouvel in second on 323 centimetres, and the German pairing of Ressel and Baborias just 20 centimetres behind in third. The kayak event was pretty tough going, but Morocco's Salah El Barbouchi managed to catch a perch and 2 zander to take the top position. We're on board with him now, and you can see just how technical it is fishing from a kayak. This was the overall leaderboard after day one, and the man from Morocco was at the top of the pile, ahead of Daniel van der Post from Holland and England's Lee Garner in third.
Name's Larissa Switlick from Florida, USA, Team America all the way, and professional hunter and fisherman. The Livingston Lures has been my sponsor from the very start. They sponsored me the first World Predator Classic. We got top 5, and Livingston Lures is actually the hard bait sponsor for the World Predator Classic this year. Livingston Lures is one of the top lure manufacturers in the US, and also paving the way throughout Europe as well. They just came out with a brand new Predator line, which is perfect for this tournament. And what's special about them is they have an electronic bait fish sound, which is embedded in a smart chip inside the lure. So what happens is when the lure actually touches the water, it emits a sound of an injured bait fish. So besides having, your typical hard bait lure, and it might have a rattle in it and everything, and the colors and the depth it dives, these actually have a sound that is emitted every time it touches the water. And when it cuts out of the water, the sound turns off. Another cool thing is they just came out with a smartphone app, so you can actually track all the lures that you have, put them in your tackle box, and then track all your catches and enter all your data. And also there's Bluetooth on the lure, so you can actually change the sound of what it's emitting just from your phone to the lure. If you want to find out more about Livingston Lures, then check out the website at livingstonlures.com.
I'm Ollie Taylor. I'm a Lorentz ambassador and a Team Lorentz member. I work with Lorentz because I believe that their products are some of the best on the market. The functionality of them is so good, and that you can adapt them in many ways to suit your angling.
We have all those pro staffers on board actually to help us develop the right people for our target group, because they actually work with our equipment on an almost daily basis, and they can tell exactly what is needed to be the winner in the game for finding the right fish.
One of the most important things is they're user friendly. The ease of use of the units is massive. One of the great things is they're dead easy to use. There are eyes under the water. It makes us catch more fish. The carbons or the XDS series, you've got the 3D structure scan that's giving you a 3D image, side scan, down scan and sonar. And you can use the chirp sonar as well. It gives you a greater view or a greater return on your targets. The screen quality is amazing. The Solar Max, you can see it with polarized glasses on. Also, you can do, they've got a thing called Aqua Touch. You can actually touch the screen. The touch screen still works with wet fingers or water on the screen. If you've got a fish and you put the fish back and your hands are wet, for example, you can touch the screen straight away and change what you've got on the screen. And when you're fishing, the polarization of your glasses, you can look into the water, look through the water with your polarized glasses on, see the weed spots, instantly target those weed spots and quickly look at the screen without having to take your glasses off. Basically, they make life easier and catch more fish.
Lorentz is over 60 years, so that means that we have over 60 years of experience in what is important for finding fish. So we have the most efficient fish finding capabilities. We have all the features on board on the technology side, and we have above all the best to see through screens. So that's what makes a difference for finding the right spots and the right fishes. If you want to know more about Lorentz, you can go to our website, of course, but you can also go to your local fishing store and they will help you out to demo our products.